Today is July 8th and Amazon Prime Day is here. Normally, I don't get too excited about Prime Day because the last several Prime Days have been pretty lackluster, not a lot of good options. But today, I was surprised to find a ton of great deals. And so I wanted to share some of my favorites, some of the things I've been looking at, maybe some things I use myself, and share those with you. So, first up, we're going to take a look at a series of streaming and computer devices you may want to take a look at. Then we're going to jump in to the good stuff, the video games and consoles. And then lastly, we'll wrap things up with a handful of toys that are some good sleeper hits in there. Some I never thought we would actually see. So let's just jump right into it and take a look.
All right, first up for you would be Twitch and YouTube streamers. This is a great option. The Elgato 4KX, of course, this is a must-have for those who want to capture footage from their PS5, Xbox Series X, or Nintendo Switch 2. Capable of taking 4K at 144 frames per second. I believe it also has HDR10 support, all the good stuff you would want in order to capture that footage at full resolution, full frame rates. This is a great deal. 20% off, so you're going to save $50 right out of the gate. And I don't think I've seen a price lower, so this is a great option, a good pickup for Prime Day. This is, of course, Elgato being the king of the block when it comes to capturing and streaming video games. Definitely one to take a look at. Next up is an XLR mixer. So if you are a content creator and you have a microphone like the one I have here that runs on XLR, a mixer is a must-have. So you can get that perfect sound, dial in the tones, the highs, the lows, the mids, just the way you want them. And this option is a great affordable price. In fact, it is the mixer I use myself. The Beacon team is formerly of Go XLR, so they know what they are doing. And this device is huge value. So it has the performance of a much more expensive mixer, but it's in a small compact device using software that gives you full control over all of those things, the gains, all that stuff, the cutoff. It uses AI to kind of back out some of the background vocals. You can move the gates as you would expect any XLR to have, right? It has all that capabilities. But the cool feature here, the big giant feature, is the ability to connect to two separate PCs and control the sound and mix in both through one software interface. So it uses USB-C to connect to both devices. So if you have a streaming computer and you have a gaming computer, you can bring all that together, and it gives you a ton of channels. So you can mix in the browser source or the game source or all those sources separately on one computer and all those sources separately on another computer into that one feed, giving you so much control over audio. So if you want to have chat going but want to keep that from your audience, you can do that. Have the music going that they can hear but you don't hear. There is ability to mix in different, if you have a game going, maybe you want to show an audio clip, like you could do all these things across all those devices in one interface. It is a great tool. And at 20% off, this is the lowest price of the year you will see on this device. Again, a great option, great deal. You're saving a bundle of money here, $50+. So if you're looking to make the move to XLR from USB mics, this is the best opportunity. So that it's the cheapest you're going to see, I think, in such a high quality mixer. Again, works great. Windows 11. Definitely recommend checking this out. Again, it's a device I own myself. And I should say, before I go too far down the rabbit hole here, links to all of these are below. They are affiliate links, so appreciate, if you do purchase through those or link over through those, we get a small fee. It does help support the channel. When it doesn't add anything to you, Amazon or the different third-party sellers in these deals pays that. Doesn't affect your price in any way. So you're able to get that, and a small little bit comes back to the channel to help support, so we can buy devices like these Beacon Studios to increase the quality of our streams and content, etc., etc. Sales pitch over. But again, direct links to all these deals are below. Definitely recommend, if anything you see here today jumps out at you, jump at them. Many of them have limited supply, so once they're gone, they are gone. Next up is a action camera I've had my eye on for well over a year now. Of course, it's the Insta360 Go 3S, and the great thing about this camera is its size. So not only is it a standard action camera size, but it has this removable lens and option where you can take this little device, and it has a magnet on it, so it comes with a necklace you can put it on to mount it. It's real small, or you can just take it, use it by itself, put it in places that you wouldn't normally be able to get a shot in. So you want to put it inside of a coffee cup to get a bird's eye or a worm's eye view up. You can do that. You can put this thing in so many interesting small places to get unique shots that you just can't do with other camera equipment. And so for creativity's sake, it's got a lot of features. Of course, you got the flip up screen. It records in 4K. It's a waterproof, like any action camera you would expect. Of course, it comes with a bunch of accessories. And here again, 20% off. So you're saving roughly $85 in there, or $75, $85. It's a great deal. Definitely something to take a look at if you're in the market for an action camera. This one has some unique features. As I said, I'm sharing this one because this is one I've had my eye on for quite some time myself. Last up, of course, is one of the latest graphics cards on the market. Of course, the 50 series. You don't typically see these discounted, so I thought it was worth sharing. This is a 5070 from Asus TUF Gaming. This is, of course, a beast of a card, so you'll be able to push out a ton of frames and a super high resolution. It's PCI 5, 12 gigabytes of DDR7. You can't really go wrong with these NVIDIA graphics cards, and the 5070 is no exception. Ton of performance for the money here. 7% off. So, you're going to save, what is that, $16 roughly? So, pretty good deal for those in the market for a new graphics card. So I thought I would share that one. As we transition to the games, this is a banger. You are a collector of physical media. You already know everything there is to know about Evercade, and I know fans of this channel are well familiar with Evercade. And here we have one of the best deals I've ever seen. Of course, it is the Tomb Raider collection, for just $10.31, 59% off. This is a huge deal. It's a great opportunity to enter the Evercade system. You can pick this up with one of those pocket players. I can't think of what they're called off the top of my head. Those little Evercade handhelds that retail for $59. They take these same physical cards. They include games on them. So you can jump into this ecosystem for next to nothing, and $10 for this collection with 3 classic Tomb Raider games is a steal. But while we're on the retro game, let's take a look at kind of a retro remake. Of course, it's the HD 2D remake of Dragon Quest III, a staple for any NES fan. Dragon Quest III is a great game, and here in the HD 2D remake at 42% off for the Nintendo Switch is a hell of a deal. It's a great game. It's a great remake with the visuals giving you that nostalgia vibe, but with a modern twist. Definitely recommend jumping on this one at $34.99. It's a steal. And in that same vein, the Final Fantasy 1 through 6 collection anniversary edition is also 40% off, so $45 roughly. You're getting 6 classic NES games presented in their original design. So these aren't remade, these are the original layouts. Of course, they're all in English, in multi-language, so you got full support. You can play through the first 6 Final Fantasies on the Switch. And this is a great deal at $44.99. This is a must-have for any retro game collector. You may have these original carts. This is a great way to pick these up, play them on your modern console without having to play them on some of the older stuff. Again, great collection, great price. Glad they re-released this last year, and it's already 40% off. So what a great deal. Next up is the modern beat 'em up of all modern beat 'em ups. Of course, we're talking about Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles Shredder's Revenge. If you don't know about this game, you've been living under a rock, because this is one of the biggest modern recreations of beat 'em ups to come out in years. It is fantastic. They've done 2 DLCs. There's tons of extra characters. And at 34% off, this is a great time to pick this up in physical if you only own the digital version. $22.99. Great deal. It's fully online capable, 4 players simultaneous. Great game. Tons of replay. It's got a campaign mode. It's got arcade mode. Tons. You can build up the experience of your character to unlock more functionality and moves. You beat the game, you unlock another character. There's just so much happening with this game. It's one you can go back to again and again and again, and jump in at any time and have a blast. Highly recommend this one. Again, $22.99. Great time to get the physical if you've been holding out. And the Switch is the best deal on this right now, so it's definitely worth taking a look at. And also in that modern retro spin, we have Halloween and Ash vs. the Evil Dead Retro Realms Double Feature Special Edition for the PS5. This is also on sale for the Switch, but the PS5 is your best deal. 41% off, $35.45. These are arcade style run and guns, hack and slash. They are a ton of fun. You take on the role of multiple. You can be Jason, you can be Ash, or Jason, Michael Myers. Fight your way through 2 different games, and the great thing about it is you can cross the game. So you can take Ash from Ash vs. the Evil Dead and put him into the Halloween world, and likewise you can take Michael Myers and put him into the Ash vs. Evil Dead world. And this is the beginning of an entire ecosystem, a video game universe, if you will, that will continue to release new games that allow you to have that mix and match capability. So it's something you can build up on over time. Again, special edition in this VHS style packaging. Super cool. 41% off, so you get both games for just $35.45 on the PS5. That's a pretty darn good deal. They're physical editions, as I mentioned. Comes with lots of other features here. Let's see, what do we get? We get a stuffed animal. You get an extra character of Laurie Strode. You can see you get the game disc. You get that VHS poster. Super cool game. You can see there's the art style. If you haven't had a chance to check this out, definitely check it out. And this is a great option and opportunity to jump on it. Next up is a console that I think this is the best deal I've ever seen, and that is the Atari 7800 Plus. If you guys don't know what this is, you must be living under a rock, but this is a modern retro console that can take those vintage carts. You can plug them in, it downloads the ROM, so you play the ROM right off the system using those physical carts. So you get that nostalgia feel of sliding them in. It supports 2600 and 7800 games, including homebrews. Just huge compatibility list on the emulation. In fact, new firmware was just released. Easy to add and upgrade these to add continued functionality. This one comes with the wireless gamepad, which was previously only released back in the day in Europe, and now, of course, in the United States for us, and it's wireless. So you get the gameplay feel, you get that classic look of the 7800, and it also comes with a modern vintage game that is a sequel to Crystal Castles included in this pack. And it's at 54% off, so you're getting this console, a game, and a wireless controller for $59.99. If you've been hesitant to jump on one of these Atari Plus, this is a great deal. In fact, I picked this up myself. I already had the 2600 Plus, and so I had held off. But at this price, it was hard to ignore it. And so it's great to add this design to the collection. Again, Atari is also re-releasing vintage games in cartridges and boxes and everything else, so you can get those original games and new games physically for this system that will work in the system or in an original system. And this helps get you into that ecosystem if you don't have a 2600 Plus or 7800 Plus or an original one. This is a great opportunity. As you know, Atari games can be found all over. They're mostly very inexpensive. There are thousands of them. And so a world of games opens up to you with a device like this. Again, for physical collectors, this is a great option to play those Atari games on your HD TV. Capture footage, right? If you have one of those Elgato devices we talked about earlier. And just a ton of fun. Again, great price. Don't need to belabor it. Next up, we have a video game accessory. And of course, we're talking about this Vevor G920 racing steering wheel stand. This, personally, again, something I picked up. I've picked up the G920 Logitech steering wheel system simulation, racing simulator system earlier this year to play Gran Turismo on the PSVR 2. And it's been great, but I've just had it attached to a desk, which takes up a lot of room. I don't really want it there. It's kind of, basically made it so I can't really use that desk too much unless I unhook everything, move everything around, which is always a pain. So I've been in the market for something like this, looking for a really good deal. This is a great one. It collapses so you can store it out of the way. It's adjustable height, so you can play it on a racing sim seat that's on the ground. You can play it from an office chair. Just a great option. So I picked this one up. So I thought I'd share it because it is a really good deal. Again, 15% off, $55 for a simple adjustable racing stand. So that's wrapping up our video games and accessories area. Let's take a dive into toys. I've just got a handful of toys here, so thanks for sticking it out this long, but these are some pretty good ones because normally on Prime Day, usually get some obscure toys, stuff maybe by Super 7 that are really expensive to begin with, so the discounts just kind of make them normal prices of other toys. That's not to knock the deals or to knock Super 7, it's just not really my cup of tea. But when you see a huge brand, a known brand, doing some steep discounts, you really have to call that out. And of course, Hasbro and G.I. Joe is one of the biggest. And I thought this was a great one to show out because, of course, these classified retro card back are everything a vintage collector wants. Bigger, but vintage accurate figures that are highly articulated, that have tons of accessories, and they're on that vintage packaging, so they look great being displayed. Moreover, though, if you like to open your toys like I do, the Cobra Trooper is one that you have to have multiple of, right? It's a troop builder. That's kind of where the name comes from. And you want a whole bunch of these. And at $25 retail, it can get pretty costly. So getting a 20% off is a pretty good deal, right? You can end up getting 5 of these for $100 instead of just 4. Or if you just don't have one at all and want to add one to your collection, 20% off is great. This is a great figure. You see here all the different accessories, the removable helmets. It's your typical G.I. Joe figure, just in a larger format. Again, a good deal for a troop builder, so I thought I would share. But let's stick with classified retro, because it's not always you see these G.I. Joe figures steeply discounted, and you certainly don't see vehicles discounted often, and this is an amazing one. Of course, we're talking about the Cobra Night Attack. It's got that surface-to-air missile battery system on the back. Comes with the figure. Look at all those blast effects. This is awesome. Normally, this thing is over $100. It's hard to find. If you do find a toy store that's got it, it's not going to be Target or Walmart. You got to go to a specialized toy store, and it's going to cost you at least $100. I don't think I've seen it anywhere for less than $100. And so to get an opportunity to get this at 31% off, $69.49 is a superb deal. Now, this is 6-inch figure scale, so this thing is huge. So you have to have the space to store it. Of course, it fits multiple figures inside the vehicle. You've got peg holes on the outside, so you can do lots of posing and recreations on here. The figures comes with tons of accessories. Again, I got all those blast effects. Really cool, great deal for these G.I. Joe classified vehicles, which sell out really fast, become really hard to find, and accelerate in value. So anytime you see one on sale, it's worth taking a look at and considering, because they just don't go on sale all that often. And this classic style vehicle is, super nostalgic for all the Joe fans. Lastly, let's talk about one of the biggest toy brands out there these days. They've got IP with, it seems like, just about everybody. And of course, it is the king of creative play. We are talking about Lego. And what bigger IP is it than Star Wars? And what more iconic vehicle in Star Wars is there than the Star Destroyer? The vehicle that opened the series in its enormous and immense size that stuck with all Star Wars fans for generations. And Lego, it's always something you need to look at when it's discounted, even when it's not a good IP, but even more so when it is. This set comes with 1,500 plus pieces. You've got 7 minifigures. You got Darth Vader, an Imperial Commander, another Imperial guy. You've got some gunners, you got a driver, you got a stormtrooper, and you even have Cal Kestis from the Jedi Fallen Order series for some reason, but he's in there, and it's super cool. So this big bundle, 30% off. You're gonna save about roughly $50, $40 on this. So definitely worth taking a look at. Again, the funny thing about Lego is it appreciates faster than gold. So for many people, Lego is an investment. Pick something up like this, just let it sit on the shelf. The added value being a Star Wars IP only helps. But again, a great deal. Thought I'd share because I know a lot of people like these. Of course, this isn't the Mega Star Destroyer, the one that is super highly detailed, but this is a good one. You could say it opens up, it has a play area inside. It's a good opportunity, good to jump into those Star Wars series if you have kids or not. And who doesn't like Lego and all the versatility it provides?
So that was today's Prime Day deals. It's still early in the morning, and so I recommend jumping on those. If you want to see more deals, if I find anything else, whether over on Target, Circle, or Walmart's deals that are all going on today, and everybody wants to do their deals all at the same time to jump on the Prime Day spending extravaganza, I guess. Stay tuned. I post anything that jumps out at me as a great deal in the post. Again, if you are interested in any of these, appreciate supporting the channel by clicking through the link below. It's, the affiliate links. Again, it doesn't add any cost to you, but does help support the channel so we can, upgrade equipment and things like that. So appreciate you watching. Appreciate you hanging out. I hope you found some good deals as well. Let me know what your favorite deal on Prime Day was below. If you've got anything interesting to share, I'm sure we'd all like to hear it. And if you like this video, click like, smash the like button, click the subscribe button if you're not. And I know, roughly half of you, 60% of you aren't. So hit subscribe, ring the bell for notification for more videos like these, more home arcade content and toys and whatever else tickles my fancy. And until next time, have fun.